I'm Scott, and my interactive author studies on E. Bunting. E. Bunting was born on December 19, 1928, in the small village of Maghera in northern Ireland. She moved to the United States in 1958, where she raised 3 children and 4 grandchildren. She first began writing after moving to California after enrolling in a creative writing course at a community college. After a few years, she actually began to teach a writing course at the University of California. She's won a multitude of awards, most notable including the Golden Kite Award, the Edgar Award, and the Regina Medal. Her books, it addresses multiple challenging topics such as race, death, war, and other things, just to share her experiences and her thoughts to children while bringing hope and beauty to these situations to give a more positive outlook for the children. The works created. Eve has written over 100 books for children. The 3 that I've included is A Day's Work, which is a book about Francisco who's trying to help his grandfather find work. The problem is his grandfather doesn't speak English, so that's the reason he tries to help him. Another book would be Train to Somewhere, where Marianne is headed west and she's on a train with other orphans where she hopes her mother will pick her up at one of these stops after leaving her in an orphanage. And the last one I've included was The Memory String. And this is where a little girl named Laura, she makes a necklace made of buttons from her mother's clothing, such as her prom dress. Another was her wedding dress. And these represent pieces of her family history. So she gathers all these buttons, ties them up on a string, wears a necklace, and she keeps it just to remember her family. Another book she also made that we had to do in class was called Fly Away Home. It's a book about a homeless father and his son who live in an airport. Summary of the article I chose was Smoky Night, and this is based on the aftermath of the LA riots. And in this book, Daniel and his neighbor, Mrs. Kim, they don't get along, and their cats don't get along either. They don't like each other to the point where Daniel's mother would rather shop at a black-owned store than Mrs. Kim's market. Suddenly, Daniel's apartment catches fire, and everyone puts their differences aside to help each other and make it out safe. The book doesn't reflect deeply upon the incidents of the riot. However, the reader is informed of the situation in a racially fueled background. I found this book to be a bit interesting because it shows to put aside your differences, whether it's race or anything, just for the better of good, to help people, and that's the overall message I got of this story. And I think children will really cherish this book, so that we can have more positivity and a lot more people can get along rather than have petty differences and dislike each other for those reasons. She has a range of diversity in her books, as I stated before. One is Smoky Night, like I just told you about. That's about racial diversity. Another book is called How Many Days to America. This is a book where there are Mexican immigrants who try to travel to America to find better ways, and it takes them a few days or a few weeks to get to America to have a better chance for themselves and their family and generations to come. There's also December, which is a book in which a family around Christmas time, they find a woman who is less fortunate than them. So instead of just having a regular old Christmas and celebrating their lives, they try to make that woman's life better and give her things and try to make her happy during that time. There's also Going Home, which again is about a Mexican family who come from Mexico, travel to America. They establish their work, but they like to go back and forth to Mexico just to understand their culture, where they came from, and celebrate their history, and to make sure that they know that they have pride of where they're from. And then lastly, there's The Moonstick, the season of the sow. This is basically about a father and a son who are of Native American descent. And in this book, boy has to go through a process to become a man. So in this book, they teach you about the processes that went wrong during this time. So yeah, here are my resources, and that is it. Thank you.